Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, global markets reporter at Nasdaq. Amid sluggish global economy and geopolitical unrest, U.S. companies are still expanding overseas, with Ireland as a top destination. Joining me this afternoon, we have Michael Lohan, the new CEO of IDA Ireland, the country's inward investment agency, to discuss this trend. Michael, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thanks, Jill. Good to be here.
You got it. What is it about Ireland that's so attractive to U.S. giants like Apple, Microsoft, Meta, and other multinational enterprises?
So, Jill, I think fundamentally what Ireland offers FDI companies, from the US or indeed from around the globe, is that stability, that certainty of a pro-business economy and a pro-business enterprise base. And more importantly, then, I suppose, access to global talent. So what we've seen in Ireland is that the strength of Ireland's talent base has been so critical in sustaining FDI. And this year, actually, later this year, we celebrate 100 years of economic, I suppose, ties with the US. And during that period, we've seen continued, I suppose, partnership with the US in terms of economic growth and and companies investing in Ireland, but seeing Ireland as a potential for growing their presence in international markets and indeed supporting their international growth as well.
In the face of a global economic slowdown, are you worried about the pipeline of foreign direct investment into Ireland?
Yes, so certainly from our perspective, and where I sit and engage with client companies, we continue to see Ireland's offering is still resonating with our client companies. And I think that's important. We do recognize that, there is a very different global landscape. The geopolitical tensions that we see, I suppose, the inflationary pressures that companies are enduring. But importantly, I think what's important in all of that element is that companies are looking to growth. They're looking to areas in which to get that stability, that they actually can achieve their objectives. And that could be in terms of new markets. It could be in terms of new products and new services. And that's where Ireland's, I think, strong base is in terms of its research focus, its deep talent that we can attract, not just in terms of what we develop internally in Ireland, but importantly, the global talent that comes to Ireland. The diversity of the workforce in Ireland is critically important. And as we move into the next dimension of growth, and that growth is going to be driven by sustainability, green and digitalization. And all of these are areas where Ireland can offer a real competitive advantage to companies.
And with Ireland's growing investment in green technology, particularly in the wind energy sector, explain why clean energy is vital to U.S. companies establishing operations in Ireland.
Yeah, so you're correct. I think just last week we launched a new industrial strategy for offshore wind. In Ireland, we're I suppose we're poised for the first time in our history to actually have a source of energy which is going to be sustainable, renewable, competitive. And I think from an Ireland perspective, that puts us in a whole new trajectory for the next generation to come. We're looking at actually increasing our capacity, our generation capacity, by upwards of 6-fold to what we have today, and it's all going to be generated in sustainable forms, most of which would come from onshore, offshore wind. And maybe just to put that in context for your listeners, today, as we speak today, 40% of Ireland's energy is actually coming from sustainable resources. So we're actually already on that journey, but we believe that over the next decade or 2 decades, we will certainly accelerate that. And what that means for companies is stable, secure, competitive energy. That's green. And I think for all companies, that's the future is sustainable and green and digital.
And finally, Michael, of course, we have to ask you about AI. As we move further into the age of artificial intelligence, how is IDA Ireland ensuring that Ireland's value proposition remains appealing to tech companies?
Yes, so certainly, I suppose this year and the last year, AI has certainly come to prominence, in the public conversation. But remember, for industry and enterprise, AI has been part of their journey for possibly the last decade. And we've seen that in Ireland in terms of, we have invested and took a research-led approach to technology and AI. And we've built a very strong research base in Ireland across AI. We have a very large centre, probably one of the largest in Europe. Secondly, our client companies are adopting AI, and they're adopting it to us to understand what it means for their business, how they can get efficiencies and gain efficiencies from it. And importantly, companies are very much focused on what it means in terms of human-centric response. So what's the future skills we need to adopt AI into our business or into their business? And importantly, how we're going to make sure we do that in an ethical, fair and just manner. And we're very fortunate in Ireland that, again, we have a very strong technology base. We have the skills and the infrastructure to support that. And undoubtedly, it's going to be a journey for the future. But AI certainly is going to be a potential for growth as well, for industry and indeed for competitive advantage.
All right, Michael, appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.
Thank you, Jill. Great to talk to you.